Hi, it's Miss Heather from Conservatory of the Ozarks, and I just got back home from the 2020 Christmas show for the Conservatory. So I thought I'd do a quick update video while everything is still fresh in my mind. Probably won't be that interesting of a video, but I guess mostly for myself, I kind of wanted to document everything from today so I can look back on it later. And if anybody else is interested in it, then you're welcome to watch. And if not, then don't watch. It's fine. Either way. So, this is probably going to be really disorganized. I don't have a plan. This was such a stressful Christmas show year. And it was really different from any other year, or anything, really. I told people today, I really think this was like the most stressful day of my life. Maybe that's an exaggeration though. I don't know. But okay, so here's everything that's happened. All week, I've been super sick. My throat hurts so bad. If you look, it doesn't show. You can't tell on the camera, but it is so swollen. It barely looks like there's a hole in my throat. And it hurts. And I just got over strep, so I don't know why I got another sore throat right away. But it makes me feel tired, kind of like if you have a cold. So I felt like that all week while I'm trying to get ready for this show today. And I was supposed to sing White Christmas at it. And so that was one layer of annoyance. The other thing is, like, I have a new assistant, Tia, and the timing is just kind of bad. She started like right before this, so she doesn't really know how to do very much yet. So it's kind of like on my own, and the other teachers, most of them who were here to help in past years and kind of knew what to do, most of those teachers are gone, and it's like newer teachers. Who again, they're trying their best to help, but it's not the same as somebody who's already been there and like gone through it several times and everything. And normally, in a normal year, in August, have my students pick out their Christmas songs, and by September we're working on them, because by like the beginning of November, I kind of want them to be pretty much memorized and perfect, because it seems like that's way in advance, but it's usually the second weekend of December that we have the show, and we have Thanksgiving break before that. So it's like it happens a lot sooner than you would think it would. People always are like, August, September, that's way too soon, but it's not. That you got to start working on it then if you want to do something a little fancy and get it ready in time. But this year, because of the whole COVID thing and thinking we were going to close, and it's impossible to get a venue right now or plan a live event, I was like, are we just going to do like a Zoom recital? Are we even going to have, like, what are we going to be doing? So there was so much uncertainty. I didn't plan ahead for it as much like I normally do. So I kind of felt like, oh, we're just throwing this together, because we kind of found out for sure we could have it at Drury University, that they would rent it to us. We finally found out for sure. I don't remember, but like maybe in November or something, like not very far out. And so we worked on the songs like for much less time than normal, it seemed like to me. And normally, because normally it's easy to find a venue, and it's easy to find a free venue. So normally we do a Christmas recital, studio recital, and it's free. And we usually have like maybe 3 or 4 sessions back to back, and anybody in the whole studio can do it. And we'll usually do like 1 for adults and 2 or 3 for kids. And then and that's totally free, but then we have the Christmas show, and it costs usually about $50 to enter it as a student, and then we do also like a suggested entry donation, so it's a big fundraiser for us every year. But this year, obviously, that wasn't going to work out, because good luck finding a venue, even if you are willing to pay for it. So I was like, and plus, it's hard because of the COVID rules. It's just hard to do a live gathering right now. It's so many rules to follow, so many extra things to do. So I was like, we'll just do one. And also, it's less students since some of the teachers had to leave when they thought we were closing. It's like, hopefully, it'll mostly just be my students. So just one event should be adequate, hopefully. But it seemed like I felt apprehensive because normally, like, it's expensive. It's expensive to rent that hall, and normally the entry fees, the $50 entry fee, it doesn't even usually pay for everything, but the entry donations usually help, and then we have a little bit left over usually to help pay for like a new microphone or something like that for the year. But since we couldn't say, here's this free option, and the other effect that entry fee has, I think it usually does kind of weed out people who are like, not taking their lessons that seriously. They're not going to pay $50 because a really nice concert grand piano on a nice stage isn't that important to them. So they aren't going to participate in that. So usually the Christmas show is kind of like, hey, here's all the students from my studio who kind of take this seriously and they do a good job. So I asked them if they wanted to do this, and they were willing to pay to do this. And same for all the other teachers. So it's not necessarily the cream of the crop, not like the other students aren't good, but it is kind of a little bit like, oh, this is like one of the best things we do all year. These are people who really worked hard. This is important to them. It's a priority for them. It matters to them. And here they are. And it's like usually good quality, like not a lot of mistakes and things like that. Or at least that's how it seems to me, like compared to just a more casual studio recital. So I was a little worried because I was like, this year, I don't feel comfortable charging the whole fee because, like, if we don't have the free option, then it seems unfair, if you already are struggling to pay for lessons and you don't want to pay $50 to do some Christmas recital. I don't normally feel bad because I can be like, well, it's fine, just do the free recital. But in this case, I didn't have that alternative. So it doesn't seem fair to be like, well, too bad. If you don't have a bunch of extra money to pay for this, then you just don't get a Christmas recital. That seems really mean. So I asked people to just do like a $10 registration fee, and a few families were really nice and did do the whole $50, which was really helpful. So that was how things were going. It was going to be fine. And then, like 2 weeks ago, Dr. Shelby, who sponsored our Halloween recital, contacted me and was like, hey, I would like to sponsor the Christmas recital too. And of course I was like, yeah, that would be great. So she wanted to do it at a different venue because at Drury we couldn't have any refreshments, we couldn't have any food, there were a lot of rules. But at Springfield Little Theater's education building, we could have food afterwards, and she wanted to cater it and stuff. So, I like to plan things like so far in advance. I like to know what to expect, and I don't like last minute changes. But how could I turn that down? It's obviously going to be so much better for the families and my students, such a better experience, such a fun experience to come. And like, she was going to pay for Santa to come visit. And so I said, okay. So then we're trying to throw together all these last minute changes, suddenly going to visit the venue. Is this going to work? Can it be okay? They don't have a piano. They just have an electric keyboard thing. So she was willing to rent a white baby grand piano from Piano Craft for us. It was so gorgeous. I loved it so much. I can't wait to get the pictures back from the photographer. And she had elves and singers there to entertain while people were eating after the recital. And I still was really impressed with all the students. They all still did a really good job, even though, like I say, they didn't have as much time to practice and prepare this year as much as I would have liked. um, yeah, but I was happy with the quality of it. But I really like doing in-person recitals, and I like doing Zoom recitals. They're both fun and interesting and great, but it is really tricky to do a mixed recital where some people are in person and some people are on video chat, or at least in my opinion, it's tricky. I don't really know much about sound engineering at all. And this was only our second time doing a mixed recital like that. And it was at a different venue with a different sound engineer than the first one for Halloween. So it was a lot of changes. And it was very stressful because you have to find a way of making it fair and a similar experience for everybody. And it kind of stinks if like everybody in person is getting their Christmas award and their Christmas present from Santa and there's snow falling while we're singing White Christmas at the end of the show and all that stuff. And then you're just sitting at home like, oh, that looks fun. That's sad. So I and it, like if I known that we were going to do it there ahead of time and what everything was going to be like, I would have been better prepared, or if, like I say, if like the teachers who've been there in the past, or like if say Alyssa was still my assistant and she'd been there last year, she knew what to expect, things like that. If that was still in place, like back in the old days before we thought we were going to close, it might have been fine to scramble everything together, but it was just me by myself pretty much. So I wanted to have surprise Christmas show shirts for everybody this year, and we also had a trophy like we normally do in our Christmas ornament, our yearly Christmas ornament, and certificates. So I designed the certificates, I designed the welcome sign and the donation sign, program orders and the agenda, and printed those at Office Depot. And then I got the picture frames for the awards, framed all the awards, and picked up the shirts, and then, wrapped them all. And then I had, because, like, I did all that yesterday, the day before the show. Like, that's the kind of thing, to me, it should be done, like, the week before the show, not the day before the show. But, like I say, I mean, I have been working, like, every night and then just going to bed at midnight when I'm like totally out of energy, and then getting up in the morning at 8 and going to work all day again the next day, like trying to get everything ready. Because when it's just one person, it's a lot, But then today I got up first thing in the morning and I wrapped all the online students stuff up into gift bags, which is kind of a cop out. I felt bad not to put them in actual boxes, but at that point, I was just trying to get it done because low on time. And then I drove to all of the houses and dropped off their gift bags with their certificates and shirts and ornaments and trophies and everything. And I tried to coordinate with each student's either significant other or parents. And so it would be a surprise for them to have. And I did find some snow at Walmart, and I put it in Ziploc bags so they could have snow for White Christmas, since they wouldn't get to experience the snow machine. So I was really happy I at least did get all of that stuff done in time. I know it's not exactly the same as being in person, but hopefully it came close. And then I went over after, I went up this morning at 11 and was unloading everything at the recital hall, and meeting with the sound engineer, try to make sure the video chat was going to work okay and that the lyrics would work okay for the group participation song. And it was okay-ish, not great, but okay-ish. So we thought it was going to work, and then that night it was worse. So that was really stressful. I think maybe from about 5 all the way till about 6:15, we were trying to get all of the issues worked out with the video chat online performances. Um, Either people couldn't get into I was trying the new Facebook rooms because they're free and they don't kick you out like Zoom does after 40 minutes. And I used them this week in lessons with a lot of people and it was fine, but it did get complicated with a lot of people. And probably I don't know how to use it well enough yet or something, or because it's kind of new, maybe not everything's worked out, but it said you could get in if you weren't on Facebook. Like if you don't have a Facebook account, you could still get in. And so I gave the link to people, but like some people couldn't get in. And even if they were on Facebook, and I invited them ahead of time. And so I was trying to and some people, they did go to the room link, but they didn't all go to the same room, even though they all clicked the same link. So that was like, what's going on? So finally we got everybody all in the same room. And then still there was at least one person who couldn't hear or be heard. And her performance was coming up because by then the recital had started. So we're trying to figure out what's going on. Chat, frantically chatting, and finally she was able to get everything in line. But I don't ever remember this happening before. We started the Christmas show 15 minutes late. It was very stressful. But the sound stuff wasn't working for the video chat yet, and since we didn't do a tech rehearsal, I was scrambling around trying to show all the in-person students what they were supposed to do for the awards ceremony. And since we switched venues last minute, apparently at least one of the moms wasn't on my distribution list, even though I thought I'd emailed. And so they went to the wrong place, and I forgot to tell my parents that we'd changed venues, so they went to Drury too. So some people were running behind because of that. And then I was like, well, we can just run through that stuff while they're fixing the sound issues, and hopefully it'll be fine. But I felt bad because it starts at 6, so if we start 15 minutes late, and then the recital doesn't end till at least an hour later. For the little kids, that's pretty late. So some of their families left early before it was over, and they didn't get to see Santa and get their awards and all that. So that was kind of disappointing. Felt bad about that. But if I'd known we could do it at that venue, from the beginning, I would have planned the tech rehearsal. And all of that stuff would have gone smoothly. I mean, that's why you do a tech rehearsal. Work out all the tech issues, and there were so many this time. And one of the dads needed into the room, and I don't know why, but his name, he changed his name on his profile recently, and now I cannot ever get it to pop up when I type his name. I don't know why. Facebook won't let me see him on my group things for some reason. I don't know what the deal is with that. So, I don't know. I always feel a lot of pressure at these things because people love having a Christmas program where they can come watch their kids perform. They are happy about it, so it's a great thing to do, for your little music business. But at the same time, if something goes wrong, or somebody feels like their child was slighted, or you misspelled their name in the program order, or you didn't communicate well enough, or something like that, parents get really upset about it, because it is kind of, I guess, more high stakes. So, I've had people definitely quit after Christmas shows. If they felt like something didn't go exactly like how they wanted, they're done. Because they're so upset about it. So I always feel a lot of anxiety about the Christmas show, because it just seems like if anything goes wrong, everybody gets really mad at me. No matter how hard, I try to make everything perfect, there are so many moving pieces, and it just seems like things are going to go wrong, and people are going to get mad at me afterwards, and I'm going to hear about it. And, you know what I mean? I'm sure people in every job have that, where it's okay, I'm going to give my all. I'm going to push myself so hard. I'm exhausted. I've given everything I have to give. But in spite of all of that, like these 5 things went wrong, and that's all anybody can think about. And they're all mad about it. But everybody was very understanding this year. Nobody did get mad like that. So maybe all the people who are like that have already gotten mad and left over the years and told their friends not to come. So maybe everybody's a little bit more laid back and understanding now. Because people were like, oh, it's okay. We don't mind that it started late. At least there was Chick-fil-A afterwards and hot chocolate bombs. I'm so excited because Dr. Shelby got hot chocolate bombs for everybody, and I have not ever had one of those yet. So hopefully I can go and try one out tonight. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, my dress. This dress. This is exactly the same dress I wore last year, except that it's red instead of green. See, it's a red dress with like this black lace. Well, this was not, I didn't want to wear the same dress 2 years in a row. Just I liked the dress a lot, so I got it and I thought I'd wear it later sometime. And I had got this sparkly sequin red gown to wear this year. But since I just moved, I can't find it anywhere. It's packed somewhere. So I just wore this dress. I didn't even have time to like try it on and make sure. And like my hair, this is my hair this year. I just didn't have time. Like, I usually like to go schedule an appointment to get my hair and makeup done before, so I'll look nice in the pictures, nice as I can. Not this year. And I went to get my roots touched up yesterday by the same lady who dyed it last time. And she totally changed the color. And I don't like it at all. It looks like a purple brown color. It doesn't really show in the camera how bad it looks. So I was really disappointed about that. And I think that kind of took away my motivation to try to look nice, because it just seemed like you're wearing a mask, hair's the wrong color, why even bother? So, yeah, it was very stressful. And my body now, it's like my adrenaline has been just pushing me through all week and all day. And now I'm like really feeling the cold symptoms, like the tired, like achy feeling, because I think my body is like, okay, no more adrenaline. The show's done and it's over. So now you can feel sick full on. We'll see. Normally I get sick like clockwork, like the day after the recital every year. I get super sick. So maybe this year I'll be welt the day after, because I already got sick before. That would be really nice. I think that's mainly all of the things. I loved that white baby grand Boston piano that we rented from Piano Craft. I was so thankful Dr. Shelby was willing to do that. That was my one thing. I'm like, well, if we can't have that, then we'll need to stick with Drury, because I'm not having a Christmas show on an electric piano thing. Yuck. Not to sound snobby or whatever, but you know. Oof. And I didn't know, because it's really expensive to rent one of those, that she was willing to do it, and that just really makes it seem so special to have this beautiful white piano on the stage and all the Christmas decorations. But I was sad to leave the piano behind. I sold my piano before I moved, and it wasn't a nice piano. I didn't really like it anyway. But I haven't found a new one yet. I keep looking on Facebook Marketplace. But right now I have no piano at my house, so I can't even play Christmas carols with my family this year. I thought I was going to get one because I got this email about one that was for sale for a great deal. But it seemed a little fishy. And I was looking into it a little bit more, and I'm like, oh, this is a scam. So, another scam specifically targeting music teachers. So mean. So, I still don't have a piano at my house just at work, and I just really, really, really wanted to bring that piano to my house. But it costs like $18,000, so probably not this week. Hopefully one day, though. I just love white pianos. I think they're so beautiful. I can't think if there's anything else I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, there is the other thing. So for each person's, so they're sitting at tables like for a banquet kind of round tables. And so at each place you had your program order and then your agenda. And the theme was like pink and gold this year with red accents. And then I had, well, because I thought at Drury we couldn't have any food, and that's what I thought we were doing. So I ordered before I knew we were switching venues from It's a Hoot Paper Crafting. This lady named Melanie here in town, and she makes, oh my goodness, the most cute, creative, clever little things out of paper, and then you can put candy in them. So I was like, we can't have hot chocolate and Christmas cookies like we always do every year after the Christmas recital. Not allowed this year because of COVID. So could you make a take-home kit? And she made these little mugs, and it says Merry Christmas from Conservatory of the Ozarks, and it had a hot chocolate packet and Biscoff cookies and a peppermint stick. So there was one of those on top of everybody's program order so that they could take it home. And then that kind of was perfect with Dr. Shelby's hot chocolate bombs. So now I'd really like to just not do anything for the next week, but next week is my favorite week of the year always, because Christmas recitals are all done and there's no big stressful thing to be preparing for in lessons, and it's the last lesson of the year, and I give out Christmas presents to all my students, and I put a Christmas tree on top of my piano, and I put all of my students' Christmas gifts under the tree, and it's like just so fun and wonderful. And we usually just do Christmas songs for the whole lesson. I love that week. It's my most favorite week of the whole year. I always look forward to it. But I'm really stressed about it this year because Monday is the first day of that week this year, which is like, I don't know, barely more than 24 hours away right now. And because I just moved, I have not set up my gift wrapping room yet. I haven't even found all the boxes of like the gifts I've been buying for my students all year and my gift wrapping supplies. So I have not wrapped one single gift. I haven't completed one single gift, not just for my students, but for anybody. I barely started on getting the room unpacked this week. One night I did do one night working on it. It's a giant mess. So one of my students asked me to lead their Cub Scout group in singing some Christmas carols at a nursing home tomorrow. So I'm going to go to church, go to the nursing home in the morning, and then frantically wrap presents for my students. And I may be giving out presents in dreaded gift bags this year because I'm a failure as a teacher. I hate just shoving gifts into a gift bag with tissue paper. I like having the box and then bows and the tissue paper, and then there are things to unwrap, and I just think it feels so much more special, especially for like the little kids. But I don't know what I'm going to get together this year. And like my students who are still virtual, I'm going to have to figure out a way to take everything to their houses because I won't be seeing them. So, I think that's all I have to say. That's a lot of things. A whole half hour of me just talking about everything. But I guess that's why I haven't done an update video in a while. I've been so just stressed and under pressure about this. And hopefully I remembered everything. I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas. You know, I was supposed to lead everybody in singing White Christmas at the end of the program tonight. And we just sang with a backing track. Like everything was with backing tracks this year because of the accompanist being less than 6 feet away from the voice students. So unless you could accompany yourself, you had to use a backing track, which normally backing tracks are strictly forbidden in the Christmas show, but that was another thing that was different this year. So we were singing White Christmas with a karaoke track and the lyrics on the screen so the audience could follow along. And I was like, I hope something comes out of my mouth because my throat is so swollen I can barely breathe or swallow anything. But I actually on accident picked the karaoke track that had it in A, I like it in C. So it was already really low and it was easy, to sing. But I swear I got choked up several times during White Christmas. I don't know. And when I was trying to tell everybody, let's stand and sing this and just, think about the words and listen to the music and, just feel the feelings. It's Christmas and this has been a really hard year for everybody. Like, just, enjoy this song. I kind of had to stop talking because I was starting to get emotional. And then when I was singing, I kept having to stop my notes early because I was like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna cry. The snow is falling on the stage. We're singing White Christmas. Somehow we pulled this show off and it's done now. And there were some really cute moments and I don't know, it was just really heartwarming. That moment, it was just really special for me for some reason. Oh, and one other thing that was so nice, all of the online students did such a good job with having, I'd said, try to have Christmas decorations or something in the background so it still looks festive and still wear a cute Christmas outfit. They all did such a good job. They had their Christmas tree in the background with the lights flashing. And because it was at that venue, I think the sound quality was much better than it would have been if I was just in charge of it, which is what it would have been at Drury. They were on these big screen TVs, so you could see very clearly, and the sound was coming through a speaker, so it was very clear. And you could really enjoy the online performances just as much as the in-person ones, which was so, so nice. Instead of, it's all glitchy or it's fuzzy sounding or you can't really see them. You could see them really clearly because it's this big screen. And they were all well prepared and it was really nice. I just so enjoy watching my students perform and other people's. I think so many people think recitals are boring and I just don't understand it. I'm like, how could it be boring to you? You don't know what's going to happen. I think it's kind of like watching sports, how some people like to watch sports. I think that's what it's like for me to watch a recital. Because I'm like, is Emma going to be drooping her wrists during her song after I have been yelling at her for the last 4 weeks? Don't droop your wrists when you do your crossover. So you're watching to see is she going to remember to keep a rounded hand shape? Wonder if Silas is going to remember to adjust his bench before he sits down, or if he's going to sit all clumped up to the piano way too close. I wonder if Cinda is going to remember to open her teeth so she has a nice tall E vowel sound while she's singing. Or I wonder if Kayla's going to remember to have facial expressions while she's doing her Christmas solo. I wonder if Marissa's going to have any memory slips because she has a really long song to remember. So you're watching, or at least I am, I'm watching for all of those things, and it's so interesting because you just never know, is this going to be this person's best performance ever? It's going to be so perfect and great, or is it all going to go terribly wrong? Are they going to do something unexpected? I could just watch recitals all the time. I think it's very interesting, especially if it's my students. You get connected to them and it really invested in their happiness, their success, and their progress. I'm going to stop talking now. I'm so tired of talking. I've been talking all day, but I just wanted to take time to record this while all of the feelings and thoughts are fresh in my head. I'm trying to think if I've forgotten anything else, but I think that really is everything. So, everybody have a Merry Christmas. And maybe I'll do an update video about my Christmas wrapping fiasco that will be happening tomorrow. Just going to be listening to a Franz Kafka audiobook to create a really merry atmosphere while I'm wrapping. And we'll go from there. So, Merry Christmas, everybody. Bye-bye.